Okay, listen up. And I'm talking to the ladies today. If you're looking for the right guy who is relationship material, or let's say you're in a relationship with someone and maybe you aren't that high on all the things he's showing you right now, help is on the way. Catherine Cardinal is here. She's an author, a relationship expert. I love the title of your book, Men to Run From.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now you list categories and you give why we're attracted to these guys and how to kind of manage the relationship if you're already in it, right?
Right. It's based on the National Audubon Society's Field Guide to Birds, which I happen to be paging through at a friend's house. In it, there's a picture of a bird, what it looks like, what it sounds like, its mating habits, and what you can expect in its behavior. And I said, oh my God, I have to write a field guide to men for women. So it's based on the same thing. And I give helpful hints if you're with one of these guys on how to make it work.
The idea is to help weed out the ones that aren't appropriate.
Yes, you become a weed whacker.
A weed whacker. All right, let's jump in here, Catherine, because I think I've dated half of the list.
Me too.
Thank you. All right, so which category should we jump into first? Let's jump into one of the guys I've dated.
Okay.
The golden boy.
Oh, I had him. Oh, boy.
And we think this is the one you want.
It's the one you want.
Yeah.
He looks so good. He tastes so good. Yes.
He thinks he's perfect, too.
He thinks he's perfect. The problem with the golden boy, and so people who don't know and haven't read the book, the golden boy is the boy's man, the child man, who was very revered as a child, certain cultures, firstborn sons, or he had a lot of success very early. And so he thinks that he is the greatest thing in the whole world. The problem is, if you're with a guy like that, you always have to play second billing. He'll always want to be the center of attention. And as a woman, we like to be loved and cherished and made to feel like we can take top billing. Yet, I have people in my work, in my practice, who are with golden boys, and they're fine because they're willing to play that role.
Play
Again,
that role.
Personal choice as a woman.
Yeah, what do you need? And at what time in your life do you need that? Because we do change.
Exactly. Cycles. Oh, my God, yeah.
All right, we're going to talk a lot more. Men to Run From is the book. Go to our website, leezagibbons.com. You can see the interview. We'll try to give you a little extra as well because we're so tight on time here on Hollywood Confidential. Stay close. We're here direct from Hollywood. I'm Leeza Gibbons, and if you need to find and want to find the right guy, Catherine Cardinal says you have to know the ones to run from.
That's right.
So she wrote the book on it, Men to Run From. So as the relationship expert, Miss Catherine,
Yes.
we're talking about the guys that are not the keepers, and the guy in the category of the guy you call him the come here, go away guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's most guys.
In many ways it is, because they don't like to be smothered, and they don't like to have somebody ruling over them. And that is one issue where I will say that, which is covered in the sensitive male, about somebody needs to be primary masculine energy and somebody needs to be primary female energy. So when I hear a man says he's being smothered, oftentimes it's because the woman's acting very alpha, and we need to have her get in touch more with her femininity. But in the come here, go away guy, that's the guy who wants you, he hunts you, and when you finally start to let him in and reciprocate, he runs. He's all dressed up, but he's got nowhere to go. I call him the meat grinder, to be quite honest. This is a guy who, he calls, he's there, he calls, and then you finally say, oh, I'm going to let him in. It's just so real and everything. And the minute you start to fall for him deeply, he runs because it was the hunt that he was into.
The chase, yeah.
The chase, exactly.
Now, you have in here the guy, he's a young thing that cannot leave his mother. There are a lot of mama's boys out there.
Mama's boys.
Now, we want a guy who loves his and has a good relationship with his mother, but not too much.
Yeah. I say if you can discern, you won't get burned. There's lines. I have an example in my book of a gal in her 30s dating a guy. He was call his mother every day. When they would go to her house for dinner, she would cut his meat on the plate.
Oh, come on.
And then one day they were running through the parking lot together. The mother jumped on the young man's back. He was 30-something. She was 50-something. And he rode her piggyback through the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
She just came in the next day and said, I'm out of here. Now, that's very extreme. But it's when a man can't, again, a woman needs to feel loved and cherished and has to feel on some level she comes first. Mama boys, no.
I've also been attracted to the artist type, the artiste.
The artiste, thank you for saying it right.
Yes.
And nobody gets that right. The artiste is the guy whose mistress is his art. And not that there aren't great artists out there who can have art, a job, and a family. This is the guy who will break appointment in last minute or plans last minute because he got an insight to a new composition. Yeah. This is a guy who will never be able to put you first because his creation, he's in love with his creative soul. And they touch that part of us and they think they feel that way about us, but they don't.
But they don't. The muse is the art.
Exactly.
Yeah, stand by. We've got more Men to Run From. And email me if you'd like a chance to get a copy of the book. Catherine would love to send it to you. Simply email me, Leeza@LeezaGibbons.com. Stay close. Leeza Gibbons here, sharing your weekend. Let me get you back to the book Men to Run From. Its author, relationship expert Catherine Cardinal is here. Okay, I'm going to read from your intro, Catherine.
Okay.
You say this book is encouraging women to recalibrate and refine the types of men they're looking for and to take responsibility for their mating choices.
Amen. That's right. Because, see, the biggest problem I hear from women is not so much they fell for these guys, is that the amount of time they wasted staying when they knew it wasn't right.
Okay.
And that's a woman's responsibility. Again, discern so you don't get burned. Don't lose your discernment because you've fallen in love.
You have a guy in one of the early chapters that you call Microscope Man.
Uh-huh.
Let's say, okay, define him, please.
Microscope Man is that man who's forever seeing that one piece of white lint on the black shirt of life. And he can be a pain in your butt. But there are good things about a microscope man. First of all, he's always prepared. No one I'd rather be within an earthquake than a microscope man. So here's somebody you might be able to work with. If you can get him to stop his relentless criticism and to see the glass as half full instead of half empty, I've seen many women work it out with the microscope man. But it takes a little bit of work in asking them to be generous listeners.
What kind of a man, I know this is sort of a left field question, is, for instance, a public figure like Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods is a boy. I have a chapter called Boys, and I have 3 sections. There's the 9 to 12, 12 to 15, and 15 to 18 type. And he's kind of in the 12 to 15, sexual, always insulated, the golden boy too. He believes he's above everything. He didn't go through the developmental processes that one would have to go through to become a man. And so to me, he needs time to grow up, and you have to stay away from everyone for a while and go deep within himself.
Well, which is what he's doing, which is good.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Let's say that you are in a relationship and this is not one of your categories, but you think you're with a guy who maybe is a sex addict. Do you believe there's a sex addict?
Yes, I do. See, I address it in my book under the substance abuser. That's drugs, alcohol, and then I have a section on porn, internet, stuff like that. These are usually guys to run from unless you have the same addiction. What I say is, if you're with an addict of any kind and you don't have the same addiction, it never has a happy ending.
When you talk about women being responsible for our choices, people show us who they are, and we just ignore it.
It's like we're drunk.
Yeah, emotionally drunk.
We make life-altering decisions like we had a couple drinks in us, and I'm telling women exactly, be responsible, be accountable, stop doing that.
If you want to get this book, and there's great information here, it's Men to Run From, email me, Leeza@LeezaGibbons.com, and we'll try to send you out a copy until we run out of them. And go to the website to see more of the interview. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you very much.